Must I always be playing
What is up, guys? Ian here from Co-Create Today, taking your mindset from a place of lack to a place of abundance. Today I just want to talk about equaling your proportions. Now, if I really haven't explained enough, polarities are kind of the most evident thing that rules our universe. And it's very obvious that we have these things to show opposites. Now, if opposites aren't truly proportioned, they can run into a few problems. The synchronicities and the just all around flow of things are going to be a little slowed up. So what proportions could be off in your day-to-day life? What could be things that you're too much of one thing and little of another? So I think of like masculine and feminine. I mean, each human has both. Typically, males have more masculine and females have more feminine. But there are proportions, and I don't know if they should be exactly equal. But I feel like if you're a man, you probably are gonna want to be at 51%, just to prove your point. And that's actually a interesting genetic thing. So there are 22 male chromosomes and 22 female chromosomes, but there is actually a 23rd that is either or. So we kind of think of that as like the God force thing, that true essence. So that extra 1% or extra one chromosome is going to make you either male or female. So when I say equaling the proportions, whatever the case may be, obviously you would want to, as a man, I would want to be at 51%. But in all actuality, a lot of things are very unbalanced, and that 51% is more like 76 to 23, like kind of crazy stuff like that. Like my lower body, like very, very small earlier compared to my upper body, so that proportion was very off. But I began having troubles and stuff, back pain, upper back problems. So it was because of my poor foundation. So now I should build my my lower body up to that 51% and have that upper body at the 49%, or vice versa. It doesn't really matter in that case, however. But there's a lot of things that we're unbalanced in. Maybe it's our eating habits, maybe it's our sleeping habits, maybe it's how we come off. Maybe we're happy 50% or 25% of the time and sad 75% of the time. So if we could get these proportions up or down, it's really gonna start affecting our life. Now, I do say that there are 50-50 proportions, but in certain situations like positive attitude and optimistic views, I think those would be on the upper side. So if you haven't heard of the Pareto principle, it's the law that 80% creates 20%, whether that's results or work. Now, I think this started in Italy, where they started noticing, this Pareto guy started noticing that 80% of the Italians did 20% of the work, but 20% of the Italians own 80% of Italy, of all the land. So it was just interesting. So how can we get to the proportion of that easy success in a way? It's really complicated because that's not technically very proportionate, but it is very effective and it's very true. So be 50-50 on a lot of things, but when you're trying to build skills or you're trying to get better in a way, you're trying to leave your past behind, that's when the Pareto principle comes in, where you want to become 80% so you can be filled by the other 20%. And eventually 20% of your effort is going to give 80% of the results. So hopefully that makes sense, guys. I totally understand if I got a little confusing with the proportions, how yes, you want to be like 51% in some things, 49% in other things, but when you're working on really never turning back, it's when the 80-20 principle comes in. So have a beautiful day, guys, and I'll catch you later. Namaste.